Clouds flowing over a hill, sky on a sunny day, tangerines that are bitter, lucky four-leaf clover, violets in the garden, dandelions along a path, unavoidable sleeping time, liquid flowing from a slashed wrist. One of those is not like the other. Hey everyone, welcome back to Silent Hill 1. Oh boy, it's been a while since we last played this game. I know I say that every video, but it's really been a while since I last played this. Last time we left off, we were at Alchemilla, and I think we're in the alternate version of the hospital. Oh crap. Yeah, let's not go out there just yet, until I remember exactly what it is we have to do. This is gonna be a shorter video because I do want to play a bit more RoboCop so I can finally try out that new one that they released. So I gotta finish up the remaining trophies. I only have like 2 or 3 left. 3 I think, so probably not gonna go 2 hours with this video, but in the meantime let's play some Silent Hill. Where's the map button? Okay, so we explored half of this floor. I don't think we can go into the examination room yet. I think that's locked. But we can try, just to see what exactly we need. I think we need the exam room key. Let's go into the basement. I do want to get this finished because I do want to play Silent Hill F when it comes out. That's still on the 25th, but we're almost at September anyway. I was going to play Chronos, but unfortunately I'm kind of broke right now, so I can't really afford to get all those games, because if I did try to get all of them, it would be Chronos, The New Dawn, and then Silent Hill F, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and the Pac-Man 2 World Remake, so that's way too much money, which I don't have at the moment, so gotta narrow it down to just Silent Hill and Sonic and Pac-Man if we can afford it, because I do want to play the Pac-Man remake, because that Pac-Man 1 remake was excellent, and 2 is a much better game overall, but I never really got to experience that because I never made it past the first few stages in the original. That game is hard. But it's the camera that made it hard. Oh yeah, we were already in the basement. That's where we got the hammer. Yeah, we've been here already. Why is the storeroom locked? So yeah, I do want to finish this up so we can get to the new game. That new game is causing all sorts of controversy, isn't it? Stirring up all sorts of controversy again. The producers actually have to come out and say that, yeah, you can actually skip most of the enemies if you want, because everyone's going on and on about how there's too much combat. Which I never understand. I never understood the idea people had that because it's a horror remake, characters should just stand there and take any attack. You know, that you shouldn't even fight back. I don't understand that point of view. So I'm guessing if these people were attacked in real life, they would never fight back either, right? They would just let whatever the other person wanted to do to them happen. It's just a stupid way. Oh, we're not alone in here. God damn. Damn, right in the crotch. People have said it before, but I do hope they don't tone down the emergency hammer in the Silent Hill 1 remake. I do hope it's still a useful weapon. Because there is some weapons in this game that are kind of crap. They're not really useful at all, so I hope the emergency hammer doesn't become that type of weapon. I hope it's still useful. And I hope they give you a choice, because I don't really like the how they did it in the remake of 2, where you don't really have a choice. They basically let you keep the plank for a while, and then they switch it out themselves to the pipe, and that's all you get for the rest of the game. That I didn't really like. The sound is heard from beyond the door. Yes, I do hope, one, the emergency hammer still is badass, and two, they actually give you a choice whether you want to use it or not, whether you want to use another different weapon. Because that's part of the fun of these games, figuring out how to approach each situation. What do we have to find besides the exam room key? So hopefully they keep the hammer good and ready. I also hope they keep the Hyper Blaster, because that's a pretty decent gun once you get it. You get it from the UFO ending, but it's actually a pretty useful gun outside of it too. It's like by far the best gun in the game. Oh boy. Those nurses are creepy to a lot of people, but mainly because they're not really monsters. They're basically actual people possessed by those parasites. And the thing is, some people try to claim, oh, they're just manifestations implying that people are possessed. But if you see the story later on, once you realize what's going on and where you see where the story is heading here, I think you'll very quickly agree with me that there probably are just real people actually possessed by the parasites and stuck in this other world, hell. So that makes them more creepy than if they were just manifestations, because they're actual human beings that you're still killing because they're possessed by those things. The Green Reapers list. 35, Lydia Finley. 60, Trevor F. White. 18, Albert Lords. 45, Roberta T. Morgan. 38, Edward C. Briggs. Now this is a puzzle that you have to put in order. And spoilers obviously, but it's basically you have to put them in order from youngest to oldest. And if you put them in that order, you see that the first letter of each name spells out alert. A-L-E-R-T. From youngest to oldest, and that's the password for a puzzle you're gonna see in a few moments. One of the simpler puzzles in the game. There are some puzzles here that are really obscure, like the piano puzzle if you don't realize the trick behind it. Later on there's one about Alice in Wonderland, but this one's one of the simpler ones. Clouds flowing over a hill, sky on a sunny day, tangerines that are bitter, lucky 4-leaf clover, violets in the garden, dandelions along a path, unavoidable sleeping time, liquid flowing from a slashed wrist. One of those is not like the other. It's locked. There are 4 square indentations on the door. So we need 4 tiles. I'm looking forward to the remake of this. A lot of people feel it doesn't need a remake, that it just needs to be ported. I agree it should be ported, but ever since they did the Resident Evil remake for GameCube, I've always wanted a remake of this one, so I was disappointed they actually didn't make one in the PS2 or PS3 days, so I've been looking forward to it for a long time. So for me, bring on the remake. Because for a while this was always my favorite of the games. Even more so than 2, because 2's a favorite because of the soundtrack and some of the levels. But as far as the actual overall game, I think Silent Hill 1 is still better than 2 in some ways. Some. Slate, nothing more than that. That's part of a puzzle too, but I don't remember what it is. Oh! So we need a blood panel for that one. A blood pack, sorry. so we can get a tile. Funny thing is, why couldn't Harry just climb on the bed and just grab it from this side? They're not going to be able to reach him. But it is a survival horror game, so we gotta do things the long way, the difficult way. It's not it'll be too easy if you could just climb the bed and grab the tile. Where is she? People say that Harry's just a normal, ordinary man, but this man is swinging that gigantic hammer around like it's nothing. So he may be a writer, but Harry has some Alan Wake type strength to him. So that's why I find it so funny that people think, oh, that combat always has to be bad. The person should look like they don't know what they're doing, and it's like some people do know how to fight, you know. I really don't think that the kids I would see at school who would just be swinging at each other wildly like two rabid cats, throwing punches left and right, would be easily intimidated by a creature of any kind. You know, you might be scared, but you're still going to try to fight back. You know, I get some protagonists not being allowed to fight back to make for a more interesting game sometimes, if you like that type of thing, but the idea that no horror protagonist should fight back is absolutely stupid. Imagine if nobody ever fought back against Jason or Freddy or Michael Myers. Like, it's just, or even human killers like Jigsaw. It's like, come on, yes, some people are gonna freeze from fear or whatever, but some people are definitely gonna fight back. The idea that nobody should be allowed to fight back in a horror game just to create tension is stupid. It's just like the idea that all horror games should have bad tank controls and bad camera angles to make it scary, to improve the fear. And it's like, if you have to rely on tricks like that to make a game scary, then you're not a very good horror game developer, you know? If you can't figure out any other way to portray fear except, you know, making everything shitty, that's not really good development. It's just, you're kind of lame at that point. A more creative person can make things scary regardless of how you portray it. I mean, look at the Dead Space developers. There's the first tile. Plate of turtle. Oh yeah, I think this is the Alice in Wonderland puzzle. This urinal has seen better times. Someone needs to get up and clean this with some bleach. What was that? Let's go into the ladies' room. That one's locked. Yeah, look at how he swings that hammer. This man has some actual strength to him. He's not just some he's not just some pushover writer. This guy has actual strength. Birdcage is empty. It's like Ash from Evil Dead. He only looks like a skinny dude until you don't realize what he's actually capable of. Got washing machines. So that's how we get into the other area. Well, some dryers. So what is the point of this room then? I guess it's just a way to transition over to the other area. The linen room. Alright, so we got one tile. Let's keep going. Alright, we got tile number 2. Oh no, that's some shotgun shells. VCR, it's open, usable. Should we save? I believe we were using that second save spot as a way to preserve this part of the game just in case something goes wrong. We can start over. So we're gonna keep doing that. The first is the one that I was playing on my own that I never finished. Yeah, do you know how much strength it takes to swing that hammer around like that? So Harry's no pushover guy. But back to what I was saying about fear and video games. Like, look at what the Dead Space remakes did. Like, Isaac Clarke is a perfectly respectable video game protagonist, all things considered. Like, he's actually pretty capable of defending himself. He knows how to handle weapons well, he knows how to handle tools well, and yet despite him being a certified badass, those games, at least the first two, are still pretty scary the first time you play them. Why? Because the developers were actually creative, you know? They didn't rely on cheap tricks to scare you, you know? They have the occasional jump scare, obviously, when the necromorphs barge into the rooms, but they knew what they were doing. So, like, you can have good controls, a good camera, allow your protagonist to fight back, and still have a pretty decent and scary game. You just have to put some thought into it. Having the controls be bad and, you know, not allowing the character to defend themselves and having the camera be shaky and bad, that's the easy way out to make a game scary, because you're relying on all those tricks, but it doesn't prove you have any skill as an actual developer. Look at all the lesser Resident Evil imitators, for example, how a lot of them don't actually work. Lock is jammed, this door can be opened. Yeah, look at the lesser RE clones for an example of how not to do these types of games. Where's the blood room? There's a video. Yeah, where is the blood room? Was it room 301 or... No, it was 304, I think. That's one thing I do miss from the other games, marking the map more often, because it marked some things here, but you can see like it didn't mark the tentacles with the blood. It didn't mark that one either, the screwed on panel. So it'll mark some things, but it won't mark others. It's not like the newest Silent Hill, like the remake of 2, where everything gets marked on the map. This one, you kind of have to remember where some things are. And actually, that might be downstairs. Yeah, that might be downstairs. So should we go over there, or should we finish exploring this area, I guess? Let's finish exploring this area first, then we'll go over there. Got 2 of them. Give him the hammer, Harry. Damn! Harry, you idiot. Don't stop to stomp on a nurse while one's right behind you with a knife. Fool. Someone was playing this recently on a review I saw, and they said it is really difficult to control Harry here. I agree, you can tell the controls are kind of rough. Unrefined, even compared to 2. Because again, this was the first time Konami was trying to develop this type of game, so they're not really, they didn't really get every single aspect right the first time around. There was room for improvement. Which is how it should be. The first game shouldn't be perfect. You should have room to improve with the sequel. Got the elevator. Damn, Harry's already dying halfway from that one knife strike. Alright, so we got the elevator there. We can go down. But we gotta go back to the blood room. Okay, so we got everything. I do find it interesting that Silent Hill started as an RE clone and it quickly evolved into its own separate thing. Which shows you that sometimes copying systems and games and stuff like that isn't all bad. Sometimes you can copy something and then improve on it, or even turn into something completely different as long as you have a strong basis for the game. You know, as long as you have a strong foundation, you can create something very unique. Because Tormented Souls is pretty much an homage to all these different survival horror game classics, and if you look at the second one now, it's pretty much evolving into its own thing. It's still an homage to horror games in some respects, but you can tell clearly they're heading in a very different direction, so that's why it's nice to see when a developer starts out copying another developer's work, but then they actually improve on it a little bit and then turn it into its own separate thing. They make it their own. Let's use the blood pack before that thing kills us. There you go, tentacles. Enjoy your lunch. It'll be nice if you could kill them. Maybe in the remake you can use the blood pack to distract them and then you just pound right into them with a hammer. Or a chainsaw. A chainsaw would do the trick. Another weapon I hope they improve, because the chainsaw is kind of useless here. And actually, I just remember this is actually a part of a puzzle you'll see much later on, like near the end of the game. So that's another interesting thing that went. It's another interesting thing the way they would kind of set up things here early in the game, and then they won't pay off until the very end of the game. Not a lot of developers do that nowadays. They don't have the patience to set stuff up in like the first or second chapters and then pay it off all the way near the end of the game. Like even this alert puzzle, I think this one might not even be here. I think it might be near the end of the game. So we got the 4 tablets. Bad thing is this game won't come out until 2027 at the earliest, the remake, so we might not even be alive by then. We might all get blown to hell in some war by next year. Or some catastrophe could happen. Aliens could invade. Who knows what could happen next. What could happen by next year, so hopefully we actually make it to see the full Silent Hill 1 remake. Like I read that the Spider-Man 3 game for PS5 is not going to come out until 2029 at the earliest. It was 2027 early on, but now they're saying it's 2029. Even though it's only some leaker, so who knows if they have any credibility or not, but that's insane. We might not even be alive by 2029. And the PS5 might be dead by 2029. Then we're going to be on PS6 and have all digital consoles. In which case, everyone would just play it on PC and not buy a PS6, period. So the red was the last one. So you got red. There we go. We have blood in the last one. I think it said a cloud. Let's see. So clouds, that would be white. Blue is the sky. Tangerines are orange. Lucky 4-leaf clover. Okay, so we got enough. We don't have to see all of them. So we got There's the white. This one would be blue. That one would be blue. Oh, wait a second. No, wait a second. I think I got it backwards because did he say it said the blue, right? Because it said blue and then orange. So I thought it was on the left, but it's actually on the right. Yeah, Klaus is the white one. Sky's the blue. Tangerine's the orange. Lucky 4-leaf clover. Violets. Dandelions. Okay, so we got it backwards. So the blood does not go in here. The blood actually goes over here in this corner. So we gotta switch these out. Give me back that plate. We have to switch them out. So we have dandelions and then the blood. So we got the 4-leaf clover. And I believe these are all Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, the Cheshire Cat, the Queen of Hearts. That one goes here. And then blood is the last one. Blood from a slashed wrist. There we go. Door is unlocked. The nurses should also rush at you too in the remake. 'Cause some people say, oh, we don't want enemies to run in this game. It's like they forget the enemies that were here in the first place. When they say, oh, we don't want running enemies in the game because that's too action horror-y. You know, it's too action horror. And it's like, are you forgetting that the nurses actually ran in the first game? They've always run in the game. That's the whole point of them. They're not like the nurses in the other game. So you have to have them run because that's how they move. You can't change everything to match up to Silent Hill 2 just because it's your favorite. You know, each game is allowed to have its own separate identity outside of 2. It's like if they remake 4, would I want them to remove the ghost victims entirely just because they're annoying? No. Just make them easier to deal with. Just make them easier to deal with. But they should still be in the game to get, because that's one of the things that sets Silent Hill 4 apart from the other games, the ghost. So if you don't have the ghost victims, it's going to lose a huge part of its identity. So they should still be in there, just make them easier to manage. Got a basement storeroom key. Which they could easily do, you know. Some people have said I should have plenty of swords of obedience there so you can pin the ghost. So you don't have to have a sword for every single ghost. Instead of just having 5, you can have 10 or even 7, because even 2 extra swords will make a huge difference. The main problem in that game is that there's only 5 swords, but you pretty much have to waste 3 of them on 3 of the boss ghosts. You know, the new twin victims. Sorry, the new ghost victims. The ones that you see created throughout the game. So that basically leaves you like 1 sword to use against the regular ghost. And there's like 8 of them. So you do the math, you know. It's not a good situation. Alright, we unlocked that door. Yes, it's not a good situation. Because the last sword you get in the game, you basically get it at the very end of the game in the apartment building, so it's basically worthless because there's only like 2 ghosts in there, or actually I think there's only 1 ghost in there by the time you get to the apartment building, and he's the slowest and most useless of all the ghosts. He's like the one that literally does no damage. So you basically, they're giving you 1 sword that you can't even really use because it's useless. You know, the 1 ghost left by that point has he poses no threat to you. And not only that, but he's so weak that you can actually just beat him up with regular weapons and pin him. So it's like, it's a waste of a sword, you know, and it comes to you at the very end of the game. So Even just giving you 7 swords instead of 5 would be a huge, huge advantage. And I'm sure there would still be a couple of knuckleheads complain, oh, why did they add 2 more swords? That takes away the challenge of the game. Because there's always some contrarians who have to complain about everything. We always have some contrarians that have to complain about everything. Every single little change. But yeah, like each game is allowed to have its own separate identity. They don't all have to be copies of Silent Hill 2. Because that's part of what sunk the series in the first place. You know? Yes, Konami wasn't competent. We know that. We already know all about Konami's problems. But the thing is, the fans played a role, even if they don't want to admit it. Konami would have these employees, mainly Western ones, but probably a couple of Japanese ones too, who would hang out on the message boards all day looking at what fans wanted from the series, or what they claimed they wanted from the series. And what they would do is, based on that quote-unquote research, they would develop new ways to, they would chart new plans for the new games. And what they would hear a lot back in those days, in those old Silent Hill forums, would be, oh, we don't want combat, we don't want it has to be all psychological, we don't want the cold, it has to be all psychological, it has to be like Silent Hill 2. So these employees would report back to Konami, because remember, Konami runs you guys in Japan, they're relying on these guys to give them insight into what people like. And so they would report back everything they learned, which is that the fans want more Silent Hill 2. They want more, they want more Silent Hill 2. They want more psychological horror. They want this and they want that. And so, based on, based off those games, Konami decided pretty much to give them exactly what they wanted. They gave them what they thought the fans wanted, which was more rip-offs of Silent Hill 2. And even games that shouldn't have had anything to do with Silent Hill 2, like Silent Hill Origins, got mixed up in that. Silent Hill Homecoming, Downpour, maybe not so much, because I think that game kind of does its own separate thing, but even then you can still see the influence from Silent Hill 2. But the problem is that wasn't really what the fans wanted, that was what they thought they wanted. Shattered Memories was probably the worst, because that was supposed to be a wholly separate game. It had nothing to do with Silent Hill 1 or Silent Hill 2 at all. And yet somehow, thanks to the fans probably, Konami convinced the team, Climax Studios, to make it into a Silent Hill 1 remake that was more psychological, and it completely cut out the supernatural. And it was more like Silent Hill 2-1, and guess what? It sucked. It sucked as a Silent Hill game. Had it been its own separate game, or even just like a Silent Hill game, but one that didn't have anything to do with the others, it would have been fine. But making it into a Silent Hill 1 remake was a huge, huge mistake. Not even a remake, a reimagining. And that was what they thought fans wanted, and then half the fans hated it. And then half the fans liked it, but nobody was really all that impressed by it. People just thought it was either okay, or it was crap, one or the other. But again, the fans played a huge role in that. Like, half of it was their fault. And a lot of them are really reluctant to admit it. They don't want to realize just how bad their ideas were. It's fans thinking they can do better than the actual developers. And sometimes they're right, but then other times they're very, very wrong. And unfortunately, in this case, we quickly saw that a no combat Silent Hill was actually a very, very bad idea, period. It was not a good idea at all. And it should never be repeated again in history. It just doesn't work. You can't turn Silent Hill into Outlast or Fatal Frame with its camera combat. That's not the type of game it is. It is more like Resident Evil or even Dead Space than you want to imagine. It needs that combat. The combat just has to be fun. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be fun. Looks like a hallway under the grate. Can't move it since the vines have grown around it. Can't you just chop them off with the end of that, Harry? Just use the sharp end of the hammer and chop them off. But no, we actually got something better. Got alcohol. And we got a lighter. Let's go. Spray that alcohol around there, Harry. Gonna set it ablaze. We're about to use a health drink right there. There you go. Bye bye, vines. Here's the thing. I like the Shattered Memories from its storytelling perspective. From a storyline perspective and from the soundtrack, it has some pretty good songs in it, as always. But it should not have been a Silent Hill 1 game. It should have been its own separate game. Like I said, I think had it not been connected to Silent Hill at all, it probably would have been for the best. But even if it had been his own separate Silent Hill game, I think it would have done alright. Silent Hill Cold Hearts was supposed to be the original title, and I think that they should have kept it that way. But Konami thought fans wanted an all psychological, no supernatural horror experience, and that's exactly what they gave them. And even today, you'll still find fans saying, "Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. That wasn't what I wanted." And it's like, well, if it wasn't what you wanted, then why did you post about it 10,000 times on a message board? And a message board that you knew Silent Hill Konami's were monitoring on the part of Konami. Employees from Konami were monitoring those forums. And they told you they were monitoring those forums because we actually knew their names in some cases, so we knew they were working at Konami. So like, what did you expect? When they see you complain that, oh, why isn't every Silent Hill game like Silent Hill 2? When they see you complain about that over and over, what do you think's gonna happen? The company's gonna get the idea that all you want is just games like Silent Hill 2, and they're gonna rip that off over and over again until it dilutes the whole second game. It dilutes the whole purpose of that game, but the fans are halfway responsible for that. You can't run away from that. Oh, damn, they got me. Just checking to make sure Harry's still alive. Now we have to use the health drink, I think. Oh no, we're still fine. Maybe one more hit. Reminds me of Resident Evil and how that sound actually gets repeated in Silent Hill 2, by the way, the original. That exact glass breaking sound. I think it's in the prison, in one of the rooms. No, it's in the hospital. It's in one of the hospital rooms, and the only thing you find in the room is just that glass breaking sound. But back to what I was saying, it reminds you of how Resident Evil 4 and how everybody claimed to love Resident Evil 4. They liked the new action horror approach they took, and so what happened? Well, Capcom decided for 5. Well, that's what they want. We're gonna give them more of that. We're gonna take away all the horror completely. We're just gonna have it be purely action based, and then they hated it. They hated that thing. Like, I thought it was a fun game, but it was definitely one of the most inferior Resident Evil games. Like, it was still playable, but it wasn't the equal of any of the original games, or even 4. But again, that's what that's what Capcom thought the people wanted. So that's what it gave them. And the same thing with Konami and Silent Hill. That's what they thought they wanted. More Silent Hill 2 rip-offs without the supernatural cult stuff, and so that's what they give them to them. And what a surprise, people actually hated it. A lot of times people don't actually know what they want, they only think they know what they want.
What's this?
Looks like a hospital room.
Someone's been here.
In a moldy, dirty-ass basement. Alessa. The goat. Give me that key. Got the examination room key, but obviously we're gonna go up to the floor with the video player first. So we got an IV, a dirty mattress bed, a photo of a young girl, and some bottles of drugs over here. Oh, one thing I do hope they bring back is and the Silent Hill 2 remake didn't have this, is the the character making little comments here and there whenever they examine something, because that was something that was sorely missed in the remake of RE. I mean, not RE. Silent Hill 2. You know, they did pretty good in most areas, but that was one detail that I definitely wanted to see more of, because James did have some interesting little comments here and there. He had some funny comments too here and there throughout the game, and they kind of took those out. You know, and especially if they ever remake Silent Hill 3, they have to keep those, because half of those comments are what show off Heather's personality. So you can't really have Silent Hill 3 without her making those smart ass comments. It's just not the same. You need to have her be a sarcastic smart aleck about everything early on, because that's what establishes her as a more human character than some of the other protagonists in the series. You need to have that little sassy attitude from her. So I hope they bring it back for Harry and for Heather, and maybe even Henry, if Henry can make some comments eventually. Give him some actual personality instead of being just a bland guy in a white shirt and jeans, you know? Because Henry didn't have much. He was pretty much a blank slate, but he did have that one comment about how those boxes of cat food in the pet shop could feed an army of cats. He did have that one single comment. Okay, so we gotta go back up to the second floor. Or is it the third floor? It is the third floor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Silent Hill F. I'm definitely going to play it in all Japanese though. I'm going to use Japanese voice tracks. I'll play the English one in the second time, because I heard some of the English track and they sound okay-ish. It's funny, some fans said that they wanted bad voice acting for the remake of 2. Well, there's your bad voice acting right there. As it sounds merely okay in some parts, and then in other parts it sounds kind of weird. I know some people can't stand subtitles, but it's just like you know, not to repeat the old cliche about breaking my immersion, but it just breaks my immersion to have Japanese teenage girls and boys speaking English in the 1960s. That's just in the rural part of Japan. That's just a bit too far, even for Silent Hill. So I'm gonna play that game in Japanese the first time. I'll just use the subtitles, because it just it sounds unnatural, you know. Maybe today you can imagine some teenagers speaking English, but back then in the 1960s, in the rural areas where they don't even have televisions in some parts, like, nah, man, they're gonna be speaking Japanese. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna listen to the Japanese voice track first and see how it compares. Alright, so there's a mystery person right there. We don't know who that is yet, but we'll see. We got the exam room key, so I think we're pretty much all finished with the hospital for now. So let's get back to the first area. That is not the correct door for the stairway. I do need some money though. There's too many games coming out now. Silent Hill F, like I said, Chronos, the Sonic Racer, the Pac-Man remake. I haven't even gotten the Indiana Jones game because that thing hasn't gone on sale at a price that's suitable enough. You know, I'm not paying $50 for an all digital game. The hell with that, man. Screw that. F that. F paying $60 for a digital game. Hell no. Oh, we got a doctor? They should make the doctors more vicious too in the remake. There's only a few of them here. I think this is the only area you ever see them in. I don't think they reappear again for the rest of the game. But they are tough if you're not expecting them. And they hit hard, so like if you're on danger mode and you get hit once, you might die before you even realize what happened. But yeah, there's too many games coming out. We need some cash. Like I said, I haven't even gotten Indiana Jones. I was gonna get Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, but then I read about some unsettling stuff about changes that they made and that kind of weakened the game severely overall, and I decided, nah, we're gonna pass on that. But I'd still like to get Indiana Jones eventually. Once it goes down to maybe like $45 or $40, that's the most I'll pay for it. Because it's a digital game. It's a digital game. You get no physical copy at all. Even if you buy it in stores, you get no physical copy. And that's just a rip-off for any type of digital game. You hear those rumors about GTA 6 costing $100, $80, $90. Hell no. No way in hell am I paying $90 to $100 for a digital video game. Hell no. F that. Fuck that. No way in hell are we paying that. Alright, let's see what's in here. That's some nice CG for the time. It's a nice cinematic considering it was 1999 on the PlayStation 1. Looks pretty good, even nowadays.
Finally, someone else who's okay.
That model does not look good though.
Who are you?
She looks like she's 40 years old.
My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours?
Harry Mason.
Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. It's awful.
So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream.
Yeah, a living nightmare.
Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old?
A 7-year-old girl. What, she's your daughter?
Yes.
A 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement?
No? Why? Is there something down there?
You don't know? Don't you work here?
We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there?
Well, it's... Damn! My head.
What's wrong? Harry? Harry, let me help you.
How convenient.
Harry?
Harry, how's she gonna know anything about little girl? She's been hiding in that room all this time, cowering under that table. She hasn't gone anywhere, fool.
Was I dreaming?
You were too late.
It's you.
Yes, Dahlia Gillespie.
Tell me everything you know. What's going on?
Darkness. The town is being devoured by darkness. Strength must overcome petty desire, childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come.
What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this.
Believe the evidence of your eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town?
So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean?
It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed.
Hey, wait!
Like how she announces her name like it's important. Lady, we don't give a damn what your name is. We're trying to find our kid. Your name could be Bond, James Bond, and it still wouldn't matter one bit. Oh, I thought we were going to go outside. Because if I remember right, there's 2 enemies outside, so that is definitely not where we want to go right now. So we got the green lion key. That's to head over to the antique shop. I wonder if they're going to make Dahlia younger in the remake. Make her look younger, because once you realize who she is, it kind of doesn't make sense that she would have a kid and look so damn old. You know, she looks like she could lose a few 10 years or so, take it off her age, because she really shouldn't be looking quite that old. Unless she just had a kid when she was very, very old. So we got to meet Lisa. We were introduced for the first time. I like Lisa. She's a decent character. A lot of people didn't like the way she was portrayed in Silent Hill Origins, but I kind of, after the first initial shock and I guess a bit of outrage at first, I actually got kind of used to it, because it makes sense that the portrayal of her we see here would not quite match up to the reality of who she once was, you know. She was once a very different person. And we're only seeing her through Alessa's eyes, so it makes sense that we would see kind of like an idealized version of her that Alessa believed in, and not what she was actually really like, or is really like. Alright, so we have Dahlia in the hospital, we have Lisa the nurse, we have a kid named Alessa, but how is it all connected? That's what we gotta find out next. So we gotta head to the antique shop as soon as we figure out how to get the hell out of here. What about this? You think they're gonna keep this poster in a remake? Somehow I doubt it. They could get away with it because it was pixelated here. Somehow I doubt they're gonna keep a poster of a woman's bare breast in the remake. I'm just saying, this is just my hunch. Somehow I don't think that's making it to the remake version of this game. I don't think it's gonna make it. Alright, so we're gonna get over to the antique shop, and that'll be it for the night. We got through Alchemilla Hospital, which is the most important part. Now we gotta head over to the antique shop, and we're actually getting close to a boss fight. We're gonna fight another boss soon, but we'll probably do that next time, because I got like 15 minutes until I gotta play RoboCop, so let's see how far we can get. Yeah, let's not play around with those dogs. They can stay there. They can play tag with each other. They're not gonna bother us. Okay, so it said the antique shop, so boy, this is one of the bad parts of this game being ported in a not so efficient way. Like, can you try finding the antique shop on this poster? Because I don't see it at all. Look at this. Look at this pixelated mess. How the hell are we supposed to see where the antique shop is? I see three things: post office, police, and public archives. Is that what that is? Public archives? I have no idea what that even is. How are we supposed to find the antique shop in this pixelated mess? Oh boy, I guess we just wander around for a little while. Let's go to the Silent Hill Town Center, because I think it's across from that, but I'm not really sure. Oh boy. Yeah, someone desperately needs to get this game and get it into Night Dive Studios' hands and have them make a remastered port or something, because it desperately needs it. It's funny, I see people asking on the Reddit almost every single day or every single week, asking, oh, if they're gonna remake Silent Hill 1, should I even bother playing it now, or should I wait until the remake is done? And it's like, fool, you're gonna wait 2.5 years to play a game. Come on, man. Play it right now. I know it's not perfect, but at least it's out. It's available. Yeah, like, people are seriously asking if they should wait 2.5 years to play a game that we don't even know if it's ever going to be completed, because it, you know, like, the whole world might go to hell. We might be dead by 2027. Why the hell are you going to wait that long to play a game when it's available right now? Like, I know it's not perfect. It seriously needs an update or a remaster, but at least it's out, you know? At least you can play it on a PS3 or whatever, or via PC emulation, even though you're not supposed to, but at least it's out. You know, you're seriously gonna wait 2.5 years to play a remake that might never even come out, because we might all be dead by the time it does. Like, come on, man. It's like those people who are saying, oh, should I play the Final Fantasy remake games now, or should I wait until the whole trilogy is complete in 2028? And it's like, dude, we might all be dead by 2028. The world might be a smoking crater. We might all be in like a nuclear. We might all be in like a radioactive hellhole, like the Fallout games. Like, just play the damn game. Just play the damn games now. At least you'll get some taste of the story and how it's gonna conclude. You know, because chances are it's not gonna conclude all that differently from how the original did. It's just gonna look better in updated graphics. But at least you'll get some experience of the story. You know, waiting until the whole series is complete, that's insane. It's like the people who said, oh, we're not gonna watch all the James Bond movies with Daniel Craig in until they release the final one. That was years ago, so I guess some people are finally just now getting around to watching all the Daniel Craig movies for Bond. Now that his arc is finally complete. And it's like, Jesus, that the first movie is like in 2010, so you waited, what, 14 years to watch them all? That's insane. I don't understand that level of dedication to something like that. Because you don't even know, like I say, you might be dead by the time everything is complete. Okay, so yeah, it was here, Antique Green Lions. So yeah, it's that blurry, barely legible thing in the upper right corner, but it is there right next to the Silent Hill Town Center. So I was right about the general location. It was next to the town center. I always remember, because when you come back out to fight the boss, it's nighttime and it's the town center. So that's how I knew where to go. But yeah, they really need to remaster this, because that map is illegible. That's unreadable. You cannot tell what that is. Like, can you even tell this says Antique Green Lion? That could say Antique Green Lion, like somebody's lying their ass off. They could say Antique Green Cola for all we know. All we can make out is green. So they seriously need to remaster this. And I think Night Dive Studios said they would want to do it. I think they said they want to do remasters of the original Resident Evil games and this, so they're waiting. They're ready and waiting to do so. Konami just needs to give them permission. But it desperately needs it because it's ridiculous. It's the height of absurdity that you cannot play Silent Hill 1 on a PS4 or PS5, even though we have a Silent Hill 2 remake on the PS5 and we have a new Silent Hill game coming out in 3 weeks on the PS5. That's insane. PS5, PC, and Xbox, you have it in all these modern consoles and computer, and yet we can't even play the first game emulated on a PS5. That's insane. Or PS4. So Konami desperately needs to get on that. Just give them, you know, Night Dive Studios has proven they can do great remasters of old horror games. Just give them whatever code you have as is. They'll fix it. They'll buy a retail copy and reverse engineer it or whatever it is they do, like Bluepoint does. They'll fix that shit up easily. If you don't want to do it, or if you're scared to do it because you think you'll screw it up again, like we did the HD collection. But just give it to Night Dive Studios and they'll have it out in like a year, and it'll look damn good. It's better than what we have now, having to go back to the PS3 to play it or emulate it. Boy, we cannot see. Oh, there's our flashlight. Right, so we're 5 hours and 36 minutes in, so I think we're approaching the last third of the game pretty soon, after we fight the next boss. There's a trace on the floor that somebody moved the cabinet. Do you want to push the cabinet? Yes. So we're going to have a cutscene coming up, but remember what I said in the first video for this series, that the reason the voice and the voice acting sounds so awkward is actually because of a technical flaw in the PS1 disc that prohibits the sentences from, you know, being read as they should be. So that's why you have that little pause in between each section of dialogue here. It's not the voice acting that's faulty, it's actually the technology of the PS1 that's faulty. I'm just saying that because a couple of the lines here have become a pretty big meme.
Harry!
Sybil?
Can you imagine if he just shot her right there? Just shot her in the face.
I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts.
What are you doing here? I thought you left town.
I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out too.
What about my daughter? Did you see her?
I did see a girl.
Was it Cheryl?
I only caught a glimpse of her through the fog. I went after her, but she vanished. I don't know about your daughter, but...
And you just let her go? Where was it?
on Bachman Road. She was heading towards the lake. Now don't get excited. It wasn't like she ran off exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road has been obliterated.
Harry, didn't you hear her say the whole place is covered in fog?
So then Cheryl...
How was she supposed to track her?
It was like she was walking on thin air. What about you? Anything?
Yeah, I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her?
Dahlia Gillespie. No. And?
She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means?
Darkness devouring the town. Must be on drugs.
There.
Sell them to the tourists.
That's the line everybody memes.
Of course,
Must
still
be on
can't figure
drugs.
out who's behind it. None of our leads have panned out. And the investigation is stalled.
What could drug trafficking have to do with all this?
really don't know. But maybe that's the darkness she was talking about. That's all I can think of. What's this?
Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there.
Let's have a look.
Wait. We don't know what's back there. I'd better check it out first.
I'm a cop. I should go.
No, I'm going.
All right. I'll cover you from here.
Harry, why aren't you letting the damn police officer go in there first, you dummy?
If anything looks fishy, get back here on the double.
Okay.
You should just
Sybil?
held him back.
Yeah?
Do you know anything about... well, like some other world? It's like some kind of bad dream.
What are you talking about?
I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur, like some kind of hallucination, you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry.
I was just wondering. Never mind.
Harry, you're tired.
Yeah, maybe.
How casually he says that. Oh, never mind. Sound insane, Harry. But seriously, why would he, why would you not let the police officer go in there first? Damn, the controller just died. Give it a moment to restart. It's this faulty, fake PS3 controller that I accidentally got. I thought it was a real PS3 controller for the longest time until I realized it was a counterfeit. But it still works pretty decently. It just doesn't maintain itself. You have to kind of press the PS3 start button or that center button. You have to kind of press it again to
What's this? Some kind of altar.
to get it back in Wi-Fi
Never
mode.
seen anything like this before. Maybe this is the other church.
Yeah, it goes to sleep after a few minutes of inactivity. There's that useless goddamn axe. That thing sucks. I think it's bullshit. But yeah, like Harry, why would you not let the trained armed police officer go in there first? That's like if you're trying to go after Jason Voorhees and you have a cop next to you and you say, no, I'll take him first. No, let the cop fight him first. And if the cop gets massacred and you have to defend yourself, then you actually take on Jason. Let the professional handle it first. Jackass. Also wonder if that storyline with the drugs is meant to imply that the whole thing is just one hazy drug-fueled vision. Like none of it's real, it's not happening. It's all a hallucination. Of course, as you go later into the story, you'll see there's actually a very practical reason why they're dealing drugs in the town. But I wonder if that's the original intent of the developers. Like when you first hear about that, like they're trying to fool you into thinking that this is all one big giant hallucination, that it's not really happening when it actually is.
What the?
You can kind of see the Silent Hill writers figuring how to write a very creative and disturbing story for the first time around. You can see they're inexperienced.
Harry? Are you okay? Harry?
Like with the dialogue he gave Sybil there, trying to describe the other world, and they're trying to keep it as vague as possible. So it's like they know he has to try to cover up what he's seeing so that it doesn't sound too crazy, but they don't quite know how to explain it yet. They will get much better with the dialogue in Silent Hill 2 and then Silent Hill 3, which probably has some of the best dialogue. As far as all that mystical mumbo jumbo. But things are kind of rough here,
Where am I?
since it is the first game.
Harry.
Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital?
You were having a bad dream.
Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about.
Well, if you're sure. Lisa, do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie?
Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since.
Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. You have any idea what she's talking about?
The town devoured by the darkness. Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. Weird occult stuff. Black magic, that kind of thing.
That word hasn't aged world.
As young people
Aged
moved
well, all
away,
things
people
considering.
figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there really wasn't anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out, gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it.
A cult.
Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago. When several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'll shut up.
So the town was messed up
Was that
before
another dream?
all this started happening. That was
I
our first
passed out
hint,
again?
which Silent Hill 2 would expand upon massively. There were already strange things happening here. I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Sybil said Cheryl was heading towards the lake, but the road to the lake is blocked. Are there any other roads? Lisa would probably know. Do you guys know? You two? Can you help me out? Is there anything you can tell us? They're not talking. Dead men share no secrets. We're gonna save here because that'll be it for the night. Because it is 2:04 a.m. So I gotta go play RoboCop. So we can finally finish that. So we can start up on the new one, Unfinished Business. But yeah, we made good progress. We finished up Alchemilla Hospital, which was a huge section of the game. Now we're heading into the later stages of the game, which is the next boss fight is coming right up in a few minutes. We're gonna fight it across the hospital, and spoilers, but it's basically a giant moth, which is, I guess, kind of cool considering I haven't really seen too many giant moths in horror games outside of Resident Evil 2. But yeah, we're getting a sense of what the story is shaping up to be. So you wonder, is he in two separate worlds at once? Like, is he talking to Sybil in one world while he's lying there dormant or sleeping, I guess, in front of Lisa in the other? Like, is he shifting between realities, or does he just instantaneously transport to another reality? And now we just got transported to another one. So yeah, we definitely getting some hints that the town has its secrets. Although it's funny, as disturbing as what she's describing might be compared to the small towns we have here in Pennsylvania, I'll actually take the cult written mystery paranormal town any day over the small towns we have here. That's actually a whole lot better than the small towns we have here. The small towns we have here are ass. They're just there's nothing there but racists and weirdos. It's pretty much, that's the best way to describe it. Racists and weirdos. and not the good type of weirdos, the bad type of weirdos. So yeah, I'll happily take the cult possessed haunted paranormal town any day over the small towns we have here in good old PA. I'll take Silent Hill any day of the week over this crap right here. But yeah, so when we come back next time, probably in a couple days. I don't want to wait too long to finish this. We'll proceed on with the game. We'll fight the next boss, and we'll head towards I believe we're heading towards the resort area next, which means we have to pass through the sewers, which is everybody's least favorite section of the entire game. I've never seen one single person say they love the sewer section, and in fact, a lot of people outright hate it. So won't that be fun? But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will see you again next time on Silent Hill 1 on the good old PS3. See you later, everyone.